Hey everybody, it's the OMAD Dad. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a channel that's dedicated to living the OMAD lifestyle or eating just one meal a day. Well, I'm excited. I finally got my results in from my food sensitivities test that I took. I mentioned this a couple of videos back on this channel. I went to everlywell.com and I took one of their mail order food sensitivity tests. They sent me a kit. I think I paid around $120 or so. Shipping was included, and they sent me a little kit at home, and you take a little finger prick, as we saw in the last video about that, and you send your blood sample off to their lab, and they email you the results of what they found out. And the whole process took about a week and a half, I think, between them sending it to me doing it and putting it out in the mail, and then getting my results, which in this COVID era I think is pretty remarkable, considering many packages are being delayed all over the country, probably even the world as well. But I was so excited to get my results, and I really can't wait to share them with you on here. I do want to mention as a disclaimer, I do not receive any compensation from everlywell.com. I am not sponsored by them. They don't sponsor this video or any of my videos. This was just something that I did based on a family member of mine who had a food sensitivities test and was pretty shocked by her results. So I figured, well, maybe I would try mine to see in case it was something up there and that I was having in my diet that I really shouldn't. So I'm going to share with you my results from my food sensitivities test. I can't wait. It really kind of shocked me. But let's get right into it, and I'll explain it as we go along. Well, to start with, there are three categories of food sensitivity, and this is the IgG antibody food sensitivity test, not the IgE, which is a food allergen test. That's something that is done within the confines of a doctor's office because they poke you with a whole bunch of different needles, and they want to make sure that if you have an allergic reaction, there is a trained medical professional there that can kind of help you out. All right, so you should understand that there are really four classes of foods on this sensitivity test results that you're going to end up seeing. One is in the red, which is a very high reactivity to a certain food. Then it goes to orange, which is a moderate reactivity to a certain food. Then it goes to yellow, which is a mild reactivity to a certain food. And then there is the green, which are foods that, on their particular scale, don't really show any sort of reactivity to you, or they show such a low reactivity to you, it's trivial. All right, so I really thought maybe I would at least have one in the red, or maybe a few in the orange, especially because with the way wheat and gluten is today, and a lot of people being, having, and not necessarily just celiac disease, but people being more gluten intolerant, I really thought that wheat would be at least high up there on my list, or on my list at all. And surprisingly, it wasn't. So as you can see from this first picture, I didn't have any high reactivity foods. So I was kind of surprised by that. And it's probably not going to come up in the picture at all, but I also had no moderate reactivity to any foods. Now, I'm not upset about this at all. This is really a good thing. I'm glad that I don't have any of this. My sister-in-law who did this had a high reactivity to watermelon, beef, cabbage, and coffee. And she was just devastated by this because beef is one of her favorite things to eat. She has coffee every day. Watermelon she'll eat in the summer, but depending on what your results are, it could be pretty life-changing. But if you feel and suspect that there's maybe you're having some issues internally and they may be caused by food, this is a great place to start because it's going to start the detective work for you instead of you just eliminating everything except for one particular food item and then gradually doing this long, painfully slow reintroduction of foods and trying to be a sleuth. At least this way here you have somewhere to start. So it starts off really good. I didn't show high reactivity or moderate reactivity to any foods. I'm really happy with that part. This may not come out so well in the recording as I'd like, but I'm going to go through each one of these categories though, these individual foods. But in my mild reactivity section, I actually had 6 items come up. I'll go over them real quickly. It was almonds, coconut, coffee, cow's milk, yogurt, and garlic. Now this was pretty interesting for me because almonds you've seen in some of my what I eat in a day videos, and I'll have almonds with maybe some dark chocolate or something as a little dessert as part of my OMAD. But overall, I don't really eat all that much almonds. I don't really cook with almond flour. I don't drink almond milk, so that was pretty interesting. Coconut is one of those foods that I just never really cared for. I don't drink coconut milk. I don't really bake with coconut all that often. And I'll get into why this may be on my list later. Coffee, this is another kind of strange one for me because I can't stand to drink coffee. I've tried many different types of coffee. I've tried espresso. I do like tiramisu, which is known to have coffee in it. And I do like an occasional coffee ice cream. But other than that, I like the smell of coffee, and I'm sorry, I just never got into it. Just don't like it, and I always I've avoided it all my life. So that was a little strange. Cow's milk. This was interesting because I don't drink cow's milk. I even as a little child, I don't like the taste of milk. Never really did. But I would have some cow's milk in my cereal when I would eat cereal. Just a little bit to really wet it, not much, but I do love ice cream. I cook with butter, of course, being a chef. Heavy cream as well. So there is a good opportunity for me to come across quite a bit of cow's milk in my diet, I guess. It did separate out things like cow's milk cheese, for example, cheddar, mozzarella, cottage cheese. I had very, very mild, I had almost no reaction to those at all. And from what I've read, it's most likely having to do with the casein that's in the cow's milk versus the cheese. So that's pretty interesting. Garlic. We'll get into garlic in a little bit here, but this one really shocked me. I love garlic. I'm not overly crazy by it, but it's in almost everything I cook, especially when I cook Italian food. And so for me, giving up garlic, that's really going to be hard, especially if you say, well, if I give up garlic. You may not cook with it, but if you go out to restaurants, garlic is in pretty much everything, in all different types of genres of cuisines. So that's a hard one. And then the last one was yogurt. Again, yogurt is another food that I've always avoided. I don't want to gross people out here, but I've had yogurt once in my life, back in my running days. I heard that yogurt was supposed to be, Greek yogurt in particular, was supposed to be really great for you, and so I had some dark chocolate I put in there with a little bit of almonds, and I had it, and I think about an hour after I ate it, I just threw up. And when you have that sort of, that mental memory of a food item like that, ever since then I have never touched it. I can't stand the smell of it, so I avoid it. So this was a very peculiar list for me. because most of these foods I actively avoid. Um, Again, I think it's kind of doable. Um, the garlic is going to be tough, but um, overall, I mean, it's just 6 foods, and I can try giving this stuff up for a month to see if it makes me feel better at all. And then, they recommend giving it up for at least 30 days, these items, and then slowly, one by one, reintroducing and seeing how you feel afterwards. But I want to take a minute and break each one of these down just so you could kind of see the scale on how they score this stuff. So here is the scale that they use to judge the food reactivity that you have. All right, so all of my milds start at a score of 17. This was my result for almonds, so about a halfway point almost. Not quite a halfway point, actually. So not entirely bad, but enough to where I feel like I could probably safely say, hey, you know what, let's put the almonds away, let's do without those for a little while, and I'll be willing to give those up and see if it makes any particular difference. Now we see here is the coconut result. For me, looks like now we're getting into a little bit of the higher end here, so this is definitely something I want to take out. Coconut milk, as I've said before, yogurts or anything like that, I know I don't consume. I don't even coconut and baked goods, but sometimes I would use a coconut oil. I don't believe I have any left in my pantry right now, but coconut, that's definitely something that's going to be eliminated for the time being. See how that works. Now, for the interest of time, I'm going to combine my cow's milk result and my coffee. As I said, coffee really has no place in my life anyway, so eliminating that is really not going to be much of a challenge for me. But my cow's milk result and my coffee result were both the same. They were both a score of 27. So even for the mild, range, it was still fairly low. I don't know if I'm going to be overly worried about this one. I'm not going to, go into panic mode, but I'll definitely do my best to eliminate this for 30 days. I mean, I could still have plenty of other options here and as to what I can do, but both my cow's milk and my coffee scores were 27, so I figured we just, for the interest of time, just so you guys can see that. Next up is garlic. So as you can see, this scale starts at 17 for the milds, and my garlic score was a 19. All right, so it just barely made it. This was my lowest scoring food sensitivity result of the 6 that I had, and I'm kind of glad because I put garlic in a good amount of things, a good amount of my dishes. Whether I'm doing Italian, Asian, even American, garlic is usually in there. Not overwhelmingly so, but it does give good flavor. This one, I'm really not going to even worry about eliminating from my diet, even just for this little 30-day experiment. I'm not too concerned with this one. It just barely made it on the scale, and it's just a little bit too vital in my life to really make a difference, and I think that eliminating the other 5 should at least show hopefully some sort of improvement in how I feel. All right, and this is yogurt again, 33. Nothing too crazy here. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. As I've said before with my disgusting story, I absolutely hate yogurt, so the fact that this is coming on here telling me to eliminate it is just going to keep on doing what I'm doing here. Overall, I'd have to say this was a very interesting test. I feel great. I feel good on OMAD. I feel fine. This was just more of an experiment. I don't feel like I have anything particularly wrong with me. But I will say that I'm going to give it the old college try, and of these 5 food items out of the 6, excluding garlic, of course. I think I'm going to give a try of trying to eliminate them for 30 days and see if if it complements my lifestyle at all, if it makes me feel a little bit better, if it makes me a little less bloated, maybe a little fewer headaches. Well, I'll report back to you guys. But overall, this was a very awesome test. It's great to do this through the mail. Even though you have to kind of pay out of your own pocket, this company does accept your health savings account cards and money that you may have from your job. One thing I found is depending on your doctor and your insurance company, sometimes they won't order these tests because they won't feel that you need them, or it may just be the particular plan that you have. So you end up going on with your life wondering, is it really a food I'm eating, and you're not sure. So you can go to a place like this and get some of those tests done. You can get a food sensitivity test, you can get an inflammation test, you can all of these things. If there's something you may be suspecting is not quite there, but you can't quite get your doctor or your insurance company to pay for it, save up a little bit. I actually thought they were quite affordable, and they do have coupon codes online. I want to reiterate, I have no financial ties with this company at all. This is just my honest review, but I thought it was pretty interesting, and I'm going to give this a little bit of a chance. I'm going to see how this affects me, and I'll report back in about 30 days, or roughly just after we're done with our June 2020 OPAD challenge, which I hope you guys are having a good time with. Hope you guys are still going strong and hanging in there with me. But that is it for me for tonight. I hope you guys have a great day, a very happy OMAD, and be well.